Doing. I want to talk to you today a little bit more. Yesterday, we built up a fashion figure on the page in proportion. I gave you some techniques to do that, but I feel like we left in a spot that's not so thrilling. We've got our what I call static action figure because she's standing straight up and down. And then we have an action, what I call an action figure that features, the tilted pelvis, tilted upper body, um, putting the figure into what I call motion. Because as you can see, there's a lot more dynamic and energy in this figure than there is in this figure. On the same page, I also showed you the mannequin dress form that's used for draping and testing out silhouettes, to show you that the proportion is the same and that when we draw a good fashion design illustration, if it's being used for development, just remember that these figures should relate also to the dress form. And personally, I always try to design for my own figure. Okay, maybe my legs are a little shorter than that. I should adjust that. But depending what shoes I'm wearing. But that there should be a relationship if it's really something you want to make real. It's fun to riff and just be free and do some exaggerated stuff, but when it comes down to really making something, it really behooves you to use design drawings that are going to translate really well into real clothes. That's my belief. So what I'd like to do today is I'm going to take you through a short demo where I take these figures and dress them in different ways, because this is like a secret that many people don't know about. Actually, after 4 years of design school, when I went into a studio and I saw the head designer tracing her figures onto what we call a croquis, she had like one figure that she traced her illustrations onto. I was in shock because in school we spent so much time developing our illustration technique and creating bodies from right out of our head, drawing. When I saw her take out that croquis and draw onto it, at first I was like, oh, I can't believe it. She's tracing. But in the time I've spent in the industry now, I find that it's very common and it's very useful for many people. Not everyone is passionate about model drawing. Some people are much more passionate about dress design, clothing design, concept than they are about posing the figure. So this technique will be for you if you're not crazy about drawing the figure. And it's not going to be totally in depth, but I'm going to totally introduce you to the technique and just stream of consciousness. I'm going to, whatever comes to mind while I'm doing that, I'm going to give you details and techniques. So I'm going to set that up and be with you in just a few minutes. Welcome back. I'm going to use the sketch from a few days ago and take it into another level. So I'm just going to review a little bit because these are really items that bear repeating. That we have, I used a 1-inch grid, 1, 2, 3, 4 heads for the upper body, 1, 2 to the knee, 1, 2 to the ankle. And that creates a balanced fashion figure. Remember that if she's not wearing high heels, her feet can just end, right after the 8th head. That's the ankle line. But if she's in high heels, it can extend as far as another head, giving you 9 heads. That's up to you. And remember that the length proportions exist in relationship to width proportions. So you can build up this figure into a wider hip, wider torso, whatever. These are just length proportions. You can really customize your body. It can be more of an hourglass shape, more of a straight up and down androgynous shape. You can add a maternity belly to it. You can add fullness all around. There's a lot you can do with it. Okay, but it's definitely a women's figure. It doesn't work so well for children's or men's, but we're going to talk about those proportions also in other films that I'll be putting up. Now the thing is, I have this page and I can use it as a proportional sheet that I can use again and again and again to sketch designs onto. So what I want to do is I'm going to be using a tracing method where I take another sheet of paper that I lay over. Now granted, you've got to remember you can't do that with just any kind of paper. So very commonly used in design studios is actually photocopy paper from the printer. So you can use that, but I like to work on a larger scale. So this is sketch paper. Sketch is a less expensive quality and a lighter weight than drawing paper is. If you buy a drawing paper, you won't be able to